In the year 1346, a royal cook in the French court was executed, not for poisoning the king, but for refusing to reveal a recipe. What was in that dish has never been found. Tonight, we uncover the darkest, most dramatic secrets of medieval food, things history tried to bury. Imagine sitting down to the most magnificent feast you've ever seen. Roasted swan, spiced wine, golden pastries shaped like castles. Beautiful, extravagant, and potentially lethal. Medieval royalty lived in constant fear of being poisoned at the table, and they weren't paranoid, they were right to be afraid. Poison was the weapon of choice for ambitious nobles. Arsenic, hemlock, belladonna, all tasteless, all odorless, all deadly. So what did kings do? They hired a food taster, a person whose only job was to eat the king's food first, and survive. But here's the dark secret nobody talks about. Some food tasters were also bribed. They were paid by the king's enemies to look the other way, or to eat only from the safe side of the dish. The drama in a medieval kitchen wasn't just about flavor. It was about survival. Pepper. Just pepper. We have it in a little plastic grinder on every kitchen table. We barely think about it. But in medieval Europe, a single sack of black pepper could buy you a house. A skilled craftsman worked an entire year to afford a small bag. And it wasn't just pepper, saffron, nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves. These weren't just flavors. They were currency, status, power. Nobles weaponized spices. They loaded their food with them, not because it tasted better, but to show everyone in the room that they were untouchably wealthy. There were spice smuggling rings, underground traders who moved nutmeg like it was contraband. Men were murdered on trade routes for their spice cargo. In 1453, when Constantinople fell to the Ottomans, Europe lost its primary spice route, the desperation to find a new path to the spices of the East. That's what launched Christopher Columbus across the Atlantic. Think about that. Spices changed the entire map of the world. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Medieval people, even wealthy ones, regularly ate meat that was already going bad. Not by accident, by necessity. Refrigeration didn't exist. Salt was expensive. So when a pig was slaughtered in summer, you ate it fast, or you got creative. This is where spices come back into the story. Historians used to believe spices were used to mask the taste of rotten meat. It turns out, that's not entirely true. Spices were also a status symbol, but the real secret, both things were true at once. Wealthy nobles chose to eat heavily spiced, often fermented meats, because it signaled they could afford the spices. Poor peasants ate the same rotten meat, but with nothing to cover the taste. And the peasants, they got sick constantly, dysentery, food poisoning, mystery fevers. Medieval medicine blamed it on bad air and imbalanced humors. They had no idea it was the food killing them. There was one delicacy called mortrue, a paste made from boiled ground, reheated scraps of every meat left in the kitchen. The leftovers of leftovers. It was served at royal banquets, because waste, in the medieval world, was its own kind of sin. And now for the drama. The story history textbooks always skip. It's 1307, England. King Edward II has just taken the throne. He's unpopular, weak, and surrounded by enemies. His royal court holds a grand feast, meant to celebrate his coronation. 7 courses, hundreds of guests, the finest food England could produce. But the food runs out. Not just a little short, catastrophically, embarrassingly out. The kitchen had been sabotaged, supplies had been rerouted, deliveries intercepted. Some historians believe it was a deliberate act by his political enemies, a way to publicly humiliate the new king before his most powerful lords. An empty table at a coronation feast wasn't just an embarrassment, it was a statement. It said, this king cannot even feed his own court. How will he feed a kingdom? Edward II would go on to be one of England's most disgraced monarchs. Dethroned, imprisoned, likely murdered in his cell, and it all started at a dinner table. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person who would have survived the medieval court. Smart, curious, hard to fool. Follow for more stories like this. New episode dropping soon.